Hello, and you join me in my shed again. This is the fifth part in a series of videos I've done on the extension that I made to my Mancave shed. If you haven't seen them already, it's worth watching part 1, 2, 3 and 4 first. I've got a playlist on my channel, worth having a look. If you've seen them already, you'll know that I've got up to the point where I'm kitting out my bar kitchen area. I've said in other videos, and I'll say it again, I'm not an expert, this is just my hobby. If you get something out of it, great. Any thoughts, comments, whatever, just stick them below. If you enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to watch more, please subscribe. So enough waffle, let's get on with it. So I got this fridge freezer for free actually off Gumtree, and that sink I think I paid about £30 for. Work surfaces, offcuts, really good quality. I think I paid about £40 for those. And at this point I'm just making a surround for the fridge freezer out of MDF. And if you notice, I've took the doors off because I wanted to make it a bit vintage. So I painted it, which you'll see in the video. Just painted the carcass for the fridge freezer, put a plug socket at the top there. There I am painting the doors for the fridge freezer. I got these handles, I think I got them off Amazon, weren't very much. Drilled a few holes and then screwed them to the surface. There we go, before and after. And there we go, complete. I quite like it. for the money it cost. Well, the fridge freezer was free and the price of the handle's a bit of paint. I think it makes a nice effect. Now I've sort of cut back a little bit here because I didn't finish the floor in the shed and I wanted to bring it to the same level as the rest of the floor. Bit complicated how I've laid this floor out, but in a nutshell I just need to bring it up by another 18mm. So I did that section there, ready to put the laminate down that I got for free as well actually. The good thing about laminate, yeah, you get it for free, but the clips do break off, so there's quite a bit of scrappage. But I could have done this shed probably about 3 times over. I had to take the doors off the cupboards as well because obviously they wanted a bit taken off the bottom of the doors, so I sawed them down. And I used the offcuts to bring the floor up near the office end, just with the scrap bits of laminate. Then laid the foam on top and then put the laminate down. And there we are, complete. Now this is my bar kitchen full of ramel that I need to clear out. It just built up over time as I'm doing the rest of the shed. So there are a blank canvas at this point, ready to start putting the work surfaces and cabinets in there. So I'd marked it out on the floor, bought some CLS, and then I used MDF to make the sides of the cupboard doors as well. Oh, sorry, the cupboards. I'm starting off there. And if you can see at the end there, I've made another wall, and that's to put a metal cabinet in there. So yeah, just making a frame up on that side. And that back wall is actually diagonal, so it's tapered in. I can probably see it better there actually. So here's the work surface, so I've got to take a diagonal piece off there. Okay, so that's ready, cut and slid into place. Bit of a test fit there. I had to take it out again because I routed out the front edge for some LED strip lights. So I've started on the opposite side underneath the windows now, marking out on the floor, and then again with CLS to make the framework. There we go, coming together now. And before I forget as well, that sink I showed at the start there, I didn't use that in the end. I used a metal one, which is later in the video. So again, yeah, test fit to make sure it fits okay in there. So these work surfaces you pick up for next to nothing, and they cost hundreds of pounds, as you probably know. So here's the metal cabinet, giving it a sand down. And again, I painted it the same colour as the fridge. Probably about 3 or 4 coats. There we go. Cutting back a little bit here again, just putting trim around the edge of the seats and the office area. Microwave in place, that's where it's going to sit. And at this point I'm making a template for a top to sit above the microwave, and I've just made it out of CLS, glued, screwed together. Give it a sand down, soften the corners a little bit, and starting a little bit of electrical work here, putting sockets at the back of the work surfaces. Made a bit of a jig here on my router just to put a rebate in there to accept the LED strips. We're just test fitting, make sure they fit okay in there. So I started putting the sides on the cupboards. And then giving it a lick of paint, painted all the carcasses white, and there's the top that I painted the same as the fridge doors. So here's the sink, marked up, drilled a few holes in each corner, then jigsawed it out. Bit of a test fit, and then silicone sealant. So next onto the extractor, fitted that in place. I got these are samples, flooring samples, 10p each, and I thought I'll use them to put round the outside of the work surface as a bit of a backsplash. 10p each, so it probably cost me £3 for both sides. Now there's the fresh water and the waste canister for my sink. That's the top that goes above the microwave. And then I'm just finishing off the step there with laminate, and I put some trim around the outside as well. And then laminate floor again on the floor in the bar kitchen. There you go, that's the metal cabinet in place. And then I use that really as a little pantry for when I'm cooking food on that griddle actually. So it's starting to come together now. I put a fuse switch in for the extractor. I'm no electrician, so always do your own work first. This is my shed, it's in my garden, so I'm okay with it, but always get advice first. So I'm just gluing on the rest of the samples. And that's the extractor fixed into place. Now next on to the vintage lights. I made a shelf above there, which you can probably see, with offcuts of the work surface, and then I got some vintage lights on there. A mirror on the back, the rockery we called it. And it is spelt right, it's a play on words. And yeah, having a bit of a practice run. These sausages and burgers. So that's a view from the outside, and it shows you there with the windows in and with the windows out. So at this point I'm putting the duct in for the extractor. Cut a hole out, expose the insulation, and remove that, and then cut a hole on the outside as well. See, it's working. And when I do cooking here, I have the windows open and the extractor on, and it seems to get rid of most of the smells. Yeah, another test run. Breakfast this time. So using the CLS to make shelving all the way around the outside, and I made a shelf actually above where that sink is, and I left a gap in there so I can put LED strip. Now this is the area I want to make a drawbridge work surface, but except it doesn't lift up, it goes down. What's the name for that? It's not a drawbridge. Bars have them, they lift up. There must be a name for them. Someone must know, put them in the comments below. So I've just put a aluminium trim around the outside. Is it aluminium or steel? Made a little shelf for hinges to sit on there. So T hinges, and then I screwed them to the underside of the work surface. There we go. And I put some chute bolts underneath so you can just pop them in and it stays in place. You probably saw it as well. I've got some speakers in there, a TV, another amplifier in the corner. Now this is the bit where I'm making the doors for the cabinets. Now I've done another video on these, how I made them, so I'll put a link below if you want to watch them, if you want to watch how I made them. This is when I've wired in my LED lights, bit of a test run. And just fitting the handles. So there's a drawer, a cupboard below, and then two cupboards, and then a cupboard underneath this. This is my pump action tap. Sucks the water up from the fresh water and then down the plug hole into the waste container. Works really well for what I need it anyway. So there we are, pretty much complete. And I'm now putting a bar outside the windows. So when we have people around, you can lean against the bar and have the windows off, and it's like a bar serving area. Pass drinks over or food or whatever. That's with the windows out, and the top part of the door comes out as well. It's a stable door, so you can have the door open or remove completely. Again, these are vegetables off my allotment as well, by the way. So that's it, pretty much complete. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more add-ons I'm going to do to my multifunctional shed, so please subscribe, give it a thumbs up as well, that'd be great. Put any comments below. As I've said before, I'm not an expert. DIY and building things and man caves, sheds, workshops is all my hobby. If you want to do similar yourself, always get expert advice. But if you get something out of it, that's great. Oh, that's my TV cabinet. I've done a video on that as well, actually, how I made that. That's in the, I'll put a link below. If I don't put a link below, just go onto my channel and you'll see it. That's me taking the windows off, literally just pin and hasp hinges so you can slide them off really easily. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Like I say, if you give it a thumbs up, that'd be great. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Cheers.